Equilibrium. Chapter 1. 12-year-old Raymond came cautiously down the stairs, calling ahead. "Dad? Dad?" He could feel deep in the pit of his stomach that something was terribly wrong. The feeling had shaken him from his sleep like a jolt of electricity, and even after the adrenaline coursing through his veins subsided, the sick feeling remained. Unable to drift off again, Ray went down to the fridge for a glass of milk and Quick, a tried-and-true sleep aid. That is when he saw the shards of light cutting through the darkness from beneath the door. He did not want to open that door or walk down into the basement. There was always something that scared him about it. The darkness and thick, wet odor made him think of an old, mossy graveyard his parents had taken him to in New Orleans years before. They strolled through it with Mr. Richard and Miss Dorothy, as if they were pleasantly wandering around an art museum. They were full of oohs and ahs, pointing to the old dates and the peculiar stones. Raymond had no such casual interest in antebellum bones. The stones were aged and eaten away at by 1,000 acidic showers and the constant soaking wetness. Green moss had claimed broad swaths of the white stone faces, and that smell. To most, it was a moldy undertone to the sweet fragrances of lush vegetation. To Raymond, it smelled like death, rotting and wet and pungent and horrible. Even the trees bent low in sorrow, with clumps of moss hanging down to the ground. He had never forgotten that place as it came to him sometimes in his dreams, and he would awake with the smell in his nose. It gave him a shiver to even think about it. That was 5 years earlier, and he had never smelled anything like it before or since, until they arrived at this house 2 miles outside of Okabena, Minnesota. As they walked through the sprawling 3-story, 5-bedroom farmhouse, it was the happiest day of his life. He had never imagined living in a place so beautiful and so immense. At the completion of the tour of the upper and main floors, Mr. Clyde told his father that he should go see the boiler. An unassuming closet-like door was pulled open, and his father and Mr. Clyde began to descend the stairs. When Clyde opened that door, a whiff of the dankness crossed Raymond's nose, but as he entered the stairwell, the full wave of its repugnance washed over him, nearly knocking him down. He froze on the second step, unable to move or speak. He closed his eyes and was once again standing on that spongy, haunted ground in New Orleans. That was as close as he had gotten to the basement. It was as close as he had ever intended to get. Now, as he looked at the light escaping the crack beneath the door and racing across the floor, he knew he had to go down. Had his father fallen off the stepladder and bounced his head off the concrete floor? Or was it something worse? Would he find him swaying slightly at the end of a rope? Whatever lay behind that door, Raymond knew it would not be good. Things had changed.